If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't give me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over, and I've done it over and over and over, so it should be no question why an NFL franchise should pick me. You think I'm worried about what critics say or what people gotta say? You know who my dad is? They hated on him too. So it's like it's almost normal. Without people hating, it's not normal for us. So we like the adversity. We like everything that comes with the name. That's why we are who we are.
You know what? I think it's unfair for me to comment in I guess maybe on behalf of the industry. All I can say is this: the time that we spent with Shedeur, and what he's done throughout his college career is impressive. He's an impressive young man. He's a really good quarterback. Sometimes fit comes into play, and I'd also say this: there are 4 more rounds of the draft.
Okay, what's up, guys? So the NFL draft concluded with day 2, and after 3 rounds, the biggest talk in Green Bay has been Shedeur Sanders, as the QB prospect has yet to be drafted. To make matters worse, every team that could have used a quarterback, such as the Steelers, Saints, and possibly the Raiders, all passed up on Shedeur multiple times, and even some drafting other QBs instead. A total 5 QBs have so far been selected, and so this doesn't really bode well for Shedeur, as he's most likely to go undrafted. This is a guy who many had as a top 3 QB in the 2025 class. Some even had him falling in the last couple weeks leading up to the draft due to character issues. Many teams believe he just had too much baggage because of his father and just a whole media circus that would follow him around if he were to be drafted. Hence, there were a ton of reaction from former and current players and media personalities, and I'm going to start with what Stephen A. said following the conclusion of day 2 of the draft. Smith went on Twitter and tweeted, "Someone just texted me this, and they are absolutely correct. This is a bad look for the NFL. This feels like Kaepernick-level collusion. All the hard work the NFL League Office puts in to eradicate these kinds of perceptions, only to turn around and watch as the owners look like they're colluding, messing up everything. What has been done to Shedeur will outshine everything else in this draft. We'll never believe this is just about talent evaluation again." So some critical words coming from Stephen A., and I get his frustration. I could understand the kid not getting drafted in the first round, but for Shedeur not getting drafted in the first 3 rounds while a combined total 5 QBs get selected ahead of him isn't a good look. I mean, you literally had draft analysts grading him as a top 3 QB and at worst a 2nd round pick.
To listen to something that was sent to me on Instagram. Chat, y'all stay with me real quick and just listen to me very, very closely. What we are witnessing once again is the machinery of a system that is never quite known what to do with a free black man, much less than a free black family. The NFL, with all its pageantry and power, finds itself uncomfortable, even threatened, when the likes of the Sanders family walk into a room, not asking for a seat at the table, but daring to bring their own. Deion, Shedeur, this family has refused to shrink to fit the confines laid out for them. And so the machine does what it has always done. It seeks to diminish, to distort, to remind them and us that there is still a place for black folk. It is not at the head of the table.
Is it about football or is it personal? The NFL should be ashamed because I don't know what you want to call this. Shedeur and his father got blackballed, or if you want to call it whiteballed, call it whiteballed. Whatever it was, they got balled out. They got voted out. It's like a secret memo was distributed. Don't take him. Let's teach him a lesson. Let's teach Deion a lesson. You can't act like that. It's got to be personal because it cannot be about football. If we're just doing football, and my friend Mel Kiper has been doing this almost as long as I have, if we're doing football, Mel Kiper, who's no fool, had Shedeur Sanders ranked 5th overall on his big board, 1 notch ahead of Cam Ward. I had him first. So if it's not football, what is it? Are there racial undertones here? Racist undertones? You be the judge. Racism is so hard to sort of grasp and prove, but it just stinks. It smells of racist undertones. of too many white people in charge in this league who just roll their eyes at both father and son at Colorado. I think it's personal because I think they said, we're going to teach Deion a lesson because you can't have a DJ in the locker room before games and at halftime. I think they said, let's teach the father a lesson that you can't let the kid make $3 million a year in college football and drive 3 or 4 different exotic cars and drape himself with all kinds of NFL-style high-pick jewelry, superstar jewelry. You can't let him tap his watch. It's my time.
Shedeur Sanders not getting drafted in the first 3 rounds is disgusting. Let's talk about what it means. I've never been a Sanders, but I've been a backup quarterback in the National Football League. More than the pride being hurt, the opportunity has now been hurt. When you're a backup quarterback, you are much more easily discarded. If you're going to get drafted in the 4th round or later, you are being drafted to be a backup. Think about the quarterbacks drafted after the 3rd round that are currently starting or potentially have the opportunity to start. Dak Prescott, he only started because Tony Romo got hurt. Kirk Cousins, he only started because Robert Griffin got hurt. Brock Purdy, he only started because Trey Lance got hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. If you get drafted after the 3rd round, you do not have an opportunity to start, barring an unforeseen injury. So even more than Shedeur's pride might be hurt, Deion's pride might be hurt, the opportunities are squandered. And most importantly, bro, they discard you quickly in the 4th round. Like, if you're not good as a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick, you on practice squad or you cut. 1st round pick, if you're not good, you got year after year after year. You have a much longer leash. Bro, this is not good for Shedeur, man. Like, I've never been a Sanders. I've been a backup, and I've been friends with backups. This not good, man. It's not good.
Hell, I'm on my way home to go shoot an emergency podcast because Shedeur Sanders should not have fallen out of the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft. And there's a lot of people out there who are saying that, you know, he needed to be humbled. Shedeur Sanders didn't need to be humbled. He's already humble. His confidence should not shake you or make you uncomfortable. It didn't make you uncomfortable when Joe Burrow was confident. It didn't make you uncomfortable when Baker Mayfield was confident. It doesn't make you uncomfortable when another quarterback whose last name isn't Sanders walks around and feels that they can be a franchise quarterback because their tape says they can. Shedeur Sanders' talent, his tape, and his pedigree is what gets some guys opportunities in the NFL that maybe they haven't earned. He earned this opportunity, and it's absolutely ridiculous that he's fallen out of the first 3 rounds of the draft. I'll see you guys soon on Out of Pocket with RG3. Peace.
Okay, with what Ocho said, I saw a lot of the discussion going around on Twitter, and there's a big camp that believes the NFL is trying to make an example out of Prime and Shedeur by humbling both of them. I'm going to pull up a tweet that I saw on my timeline. One guy tweeted, "What's going on with Shedeur is pure racism, and you're not going to change my mind. You don't go from a top 5 pick to not being drafted in the first 2 rounds other than owners trying to humble a kid who is unapologetically confident in his abilities." Basically, a lot of people in support of Shedeur called out the league and owners for trying to make an example of the kid, and while I did look at the other comments from the opposite side, they mainly said Shedeur had too much of a chip on his shoulder, refusing to go to the combine and refusing to play for 12 of the 32 teams, and just basically stuff like that. They also said Shedeur didn't interview well and that he was probably at best a 2nd round pick, but with all the baggage surrounding him and the media circus, teams just did not feel he was worth a pick.